Midnight Magic Fantastic. As All Hallows Eve approaches, I join you once again, my mystical, magical brothers and sisters and other weirdos of the die. Did somebody say die? Ooh. Forget all you think you know about gaming for Halloween. Forget everything you thought you knew about J. Scott Garaby's conception of politics. Forget everything you thought you knew about Wizards of the Coast, transpositive agenda. Come with us now on the mystical, magical journey back in time to 1983. Time of goblins and living dead, zombies, and horror movies on VHS tapes. Ooh, baby. Say hello to Jonas in the live chat. It's been a hot minute, folks. It's been a hot minute since I've been with you. If you like the Toonskis, don't forget to check out CW Chanter on Suno AI. I don't always make my music with artificial intelligence, but when I do, I often do on Suno AI, where you can follow me, where I rip off all the greatest. Folks, it's been a minute, and I'm here because, hey, October, Halloween season, we gots to get our Halloween on. It's the 21st. Better late than never. Or as the old joke goes, better Nate than lever. Hey, you gotta go sometimes. Sometime. Well, if you're in the member of the undead. Mario Heat joining us on the third day. He rose from the VHS tapes. Topical. Speaking of topical, don't forget, you apply it around the itchy area, not directly to the infected area. Hey. Great pumpkin. I hardly knew her. Listen, Crypt of the Vampire, a classic Golden Dragon game book by Dave Morris. Dave Morris, famous to many for the Fabled Lands series of game books that had its heyday at the ending arc of the game book phenomena. Game books, of course, starting in the early 80s with the Fighting Fantasy series, the books also by the Lone Wolf book series, and many others. And one of the others was these Golden Dragon game books. This was actually Dave Morris's first game book, and I'll tell you, the copyright on the text of this book is 19. Oh, actually, I apologize. I said 1983. It's actually 1984. Okay, so we're on the underprivileged count joins us. Of course, it's a bot, but hey, what would be Kick without some bots? Hey, one Jonaside telling us one of his first D&D modules was Ravenloft. Hey, talking about back in the day. The copyright on the book is 1984, and this reissue is from 2013. Okay, so that goes talking. I'm all about the nostalgia loops, how things come back on these perfectly easy to predict 20-year, 30-year loops. And there you go. First published in 1984, then in the heyday of print on demand comes right there on the 84 to 94, 94 to 2004, 2004 to 2014, a year early for that 30-year nostalgia loop, but we won't hold it against them. The Fabled Lands Publishing Company, restarted by Dave Morris and one of his partners, I think, Oliver Johnson, who did all the ninja fighting books and stuff. They did the Fabled Lands limited publishing company and got right back in on that 30-year nostalgia loop, and started reissuing these things in the days of self-publishing. And you can actually see the wonders of print-on-demand publishing means that you oftentimes get your own personal copyright, right? You can see that I actually got this book, ordered this book, so forgive me, October 1st, 2022. So you can see this is right around when I was getting back into tabletop gaming and getting back into, on my own personal nostalgia loop, getting into gaming again. And you can see it must have been for Halloween of 2022, right when I was getting back into gaming, that I said, found Crypt of the Vampire on Amazon.com, no doubt, and said, oh, let me get this one to play for the Halloween season back in 2022, 3 years ago. Folks, I swear to God, every Halloween since then, it's been on my to-do list to give this game book a spin. Well, I even remember, I think I've packed this book itself at least twice and took it down to Disney World, where we went for the Mickey's Halloween parade twice. Dan Deuce joins us on Kick as well. Hello to Dan Deuce. Welcome to the proceedings, with the intent of doing the Halloween thing with Crypt of the Vampire. But finally, every dog has its day. Every game book finally gets pulled off of the shelf eventually. Don't lose hope. But hey, folks, remember, what does a gamer do? A gamer games. A gamer is not defined as someone who bitches on the internet in various forums about the nonsense that goes on at WotC, or how the SJWs have gone too far and are taking our hobby in a million different wrong directions, or about, you know what I mean, Sonic the Hedgehog really should look like this instead of that. A gamer games, a writer is, if you just, are consuming vast amounts of alcohol and bitching about the world, while it just so happens that there's a typewriter or a laptop in the room, yeah, you can call yourself a writer, but writers write, right? Writers write, artists, make artworks, and gamers game. So you got to get out the book, you got to get out the dice, you got to roll, you got to play, you got to participate, you got to turn on the Nintendo 64, you got to play, you got to get involved. And baby, I got involved, and it has been a delight. Folks, It is a recommend. I haven't finished it. With these game books, I can't tell you, am I near the end? Am I near the beginning? You go round and round. You go to these various entries. I can tell you, it's got a unique mechanic, game mechanic, that is different to fighting fantasy. The way the mechanic works, I don't think it's worth my while to go into and tell you the mechanic how the mechanic works, other than to tell you that it's got a unique mechanic, a 2d6 mechanic that basically every player who plays one of these Golden Dragon game books, to the ones that stick to this formula, and I've explored the mechanics a little bit with the aid of ChatGPT to know that these seems to be pretty consistent. Everyone will basically present as having the same kind of skill level. The way that the difficulty is modified between encounters is not determined by, say, a skill attribute like that would vary between player character to player character, like it is in the fighting fantasy game books. Rather, it's done in a way that it's by encounter, from encounter to encounter, so that basically every adventurer that plays the game book is basically has the same skill level. You know what I mean? The difficulty of the encounters are it's the mechanics of the difficulty are baked into the encounter. It's basically, look, it's a 2d6 die roll. You roll 2d6, and if the number is between, like, say, 2 to 5, you get hit, and if it's 6 to 12, the other guy gets hit. But if it's a more difficult encounter, then the number of uh, numbers that the number of times, the percentage of times that you can get hit, like, instead of 2 to 5, it'll be more numbers that you can get hit versus they can get hit. It'll be easier for them to get hit versus you getting hit if it's an easier encounter, or it'll be easier for you to get hit versus them to get hit if it's a more difficult encounter. They'll have more hit points, so there'll be more rounds to take them down. So the difficulty is adjudicated that way versus you having more skill points than another player based on die roll. I hope I'm explaining that well. I'm probably not. Yes, I'm streaming. No problem. The kids could have told you that. I have no idea when it ends. I'll be 2 seconds. Kids are crazy. Anyway, so it's a delightful system. I'm actually exploring it a little to see if I could do something with creating a little game myself that I might be able to get out for you guys by the 31st. Don't want to do too many things, forecast too many things in the future, because when I do that, nothing happens, right? But getting back into the game, giving you a little bit of a thing, yada yada. We see that, it's Oliver Johnson. I think it is the other author that's associated with these works. Also, Jamie Thompson Jamie Thompson's the guy that did the Way of the Tiger books with Mark Smith. Oliver Johnson did a lot of other books. And Dave Morris is the guy that did this book. This was his first game book. He later went on, Dave Morris, in addition to the Fabled Land books that he wrote with Jamie Thompson as well, also famously wrote Heart of Ice, that I haven't played, but Heart of Ice has a reputation for being like one of the supposedly the best game book ever written, or has like the reputation of being up there as being like a contender for the best game book ever written. Right? I haven't played it yet. I have it because I have all these ridiculous books. But if this first book is anything to go by, Crypt of the Vampire, they wrote back in 1983, then I can't wait to see Heart of Ice. But anyway, we'll see what happens. Anyway, from 1984, I apologize. I keep on getting that year wrong. So here we have from the introduction, I think that was written earlier for the reissue. Crypt of the Vampire was my first game book, and as My preference when running role-playing games is to let the players drive the story. I dispense with the long introduction usual in game books at the time. There's no spoon feeding here, no overt mission. You aren't told your history. You are the hero, as the back cover blurb used to say. So your background and motivation are up to you. And that's true. You're just basically put in. You're not even told to, like, you can name your character, but you're not explicitly told to name your character. You're just, given the simple instructions as to creating the three attributes: vigor, agility, and psi. I've been playing the book for a while. I haven't even encountered the psi stat yet. And he says it's his love letter to the Hammer horror movies, and boy is it ever! It really has that feel. I can tell you that going through it, it's been an absolute delight. It moves quickly. I've played a fair amount of fighting fantasy books, and depending on the fighting fantasy books, some of them do kind of move you along, and you have this feeling of like, yeah, like you're moving along, and some of them do have that kind of more elementary school kind of choose your own adventure, like da 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 da. If you want to da da, then turn to page da. If you want to da da, turn to page da da. Whereas this, due to the nature of the writing, the pacing of the writing, as well as the pacing of the encounters, does kind of keep on moving you along, and has this kind of nice fast pacing that keeps you moving along, that you do even feel yourself kind of motivated to, even where you might feel like, at a point where you feel like you might be like having some sort of lag, where you might feel like, oh, I'm going to retire for the night. You do feel like kind of compelled to move forward and move on, which is it's the exciting thing about it, which makes, I think, was what defines a good game book, which is why I heartily endorse this, especially for Halloween. It is a Hammer horror type thing. It's like you're a guy or a gal, and you encounter this weird mansion. You go in and you start having these strange encounters, and it is what it is. I mean, and like an homage to a Hammer horror movie, it's not, you know, literature per se, you know what I mean? Nor is it cinema. Do you know what I mean? It is a Hammer horror type of thing. But who could ask for anything more for a Halloween game book? A true delight, and not I can't tell you what I paid for it on Amazon, but these things are not by any stretch of the imagination the type of thing that usually break the bank. So I dare say, if you look, you might find it worth your while. 2d6 and a pencil and paper is all you need. You don't need graph paper. It tells you to make a map. I started making a map. I use graph paper for the map, but you don't need to. Yeah, you can get some. You won't show up. Here she is on screen. It's my ex-wife, Jackie. Say something. She's not gonna say anything. You heard her? You can hear her rummaging around. That's the true scary. Oh, sorry. Can't be loud. No. I'm being quiet. I'm being quiet. She's doing things. There you go. She's interfering. See? I'm back. I'm back in the house, folks. See, there you go. All those people. The other guy's bankrupt. I'm not bankrupt. The other guy's on his face. I'm not on my face. I'm back in the house. You dicks. You know what I mean? Because I did the right thing. You know what I mean? Fuck yourselves. You know what I mean, you bastards? And then, of course, I'm on this channel. And meanwhile, half the people are like, half the people, which means 3 people, are like, what the hell is he talking about? It's like watching TV on my computer. There you go. It's the worst. It's like watching TV on my computer and watching the worst TV show ever. Who would watch this shit? Golden Coin 100. Who would watch this shit? As I say, Golden Coin 100. There you go. So, folks, Crypt of the Vampire, check it out. And I can tell you, I have been working with the simple mechanics of the system just to kind of, you know, bring it out, and I think it's great, and I think we'll do that, and I think that'll be wonderful. What can I tell you otherwise? I don't want to drag it out too long. It'll be, you know, too much to say this other than to say happy Halloween. You know what I mean? Have I hope everyone's having a great Halloween out there, and you know, and everything should be beautiful for people having Halloween time. And I'm doing fantastic and great. If anyone's, you know, curious about how I'm doing, or a 700 saying it here is there on Twitch. Uh, I think you're number one on Twitch or number two on Twitch. Happy Diwali as well, lest we forget. There you go. With a tarot card, and you'll forgive me. These tarot cards I got are the tarot cards that are here in my surrounding area. These are tarot cards that were selected by one of my kids on a vacation. It's these Midnight Magic tarot cards. These are mushroom themed tarot cards. So I'm not that familiar with the deck, so you'll forgive me. There you go. Mixed metaphors. Mario is being happy Diwali, Baruch Hashem. Okay, there you go. Well, I am a practice, you know, elements of practicing Hinduism, and I'm a Jew, so there you go. So we're all over the map. But there you go. Everyone joined in on the Twitch game. Don't forget to follow me on Twitch. Don't forget to follow me on YouTube. Don't forget to follow me on Kick. There you go. This is a card that I love. This is a card that I love, and it always reminds me of me. Don't let my ego drive me crazy, but I guess you know, for what it's worth. King of Cups, Fire of Water. Let's see if we can get this into shot. King of Cups. They've got the Verdigras Ageric is the shroom that they got on it for what it's worth. But the King of Cups is the King of Cups, and it's a card that I always relate to. I can always appreciate and always understand. Um, there's a duality there, you know. Fire of Water, and you know, a court card can always represent, you know, be seen as a person. So that whether you're a man or a woman or someone in between, you know, emotions. Emotions are very, very powerful. Emotions can be the key to being the most powerful, benign, supreme leader, but they can also be the thing that can drive the leader to madness and therefore make the leader an intolerable tyrant who drives the world to madness and drives the world insane and goes crazy. So let your emotions turn you into a tool of sympathy and empathy, right? That turns you into a person that, while seated in a place of power, can look at those underneath you and in your charge and command and let that emotional energy that you have connect you to people and allow you to support and give to people. But be aware of the fact that your emotions can, if you're an emotional person, can get you activated. So if you get activated, know that, be aware of your power and the power that you have. So don't poison the well because the people have let you down, or you feel that the people have let you down, and you feel that the people have turned their back on you. And people talk about things like no kings. Remember, the president of the United States is the president of the United States, and the people of the United States are under no obligation to like the president, but the president of the United States, right? It's like, you know, when the people talk to the police officer and say, hey, my taxes pay your salary. The president of the United States is under an obligation to be of service to every single citizen of the United States of America, whether they voted for him or not. I don't know if everybody knows and understands that, but that's the case, right? So anyway, not to get too political about it, but hey, it is. Bonus round. Hey, we sometimes we talk about J. Scott Garrity here. So I saw the video about Jay Scott Garrett. We'll just do this as the bonus round. Here we go. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. We got MAGA. Oh, by the way, in case you're curious, FYI, in case you're curious, Mike Johnson is gay. Just in case we're all just, Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, he's gay. So we'll just get that out of the way. Just got Garrett. Here we go. Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Mike Johnson is gay, and J. Scott Garrett may not have the strongest command of American politics ever. But let's just see. Let's just share a screen because we love J. Scott Garrett, and we're not showing this video to make fun or mock J. Scott Garrett. We love J. Scott Garrett, and we just celebrate him and everybody who shares his political worldview. And we're just happy Halloween.
And this is your pal Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about the government shutdown. This should be a non-issue.
It should.
I can't stop talking about it. I apologize. All right, let's get into
this. You have not. First of all, Jay, you have nothing to apologize. You are a beacon of hope and light onto the world. You are a special ray of sunshine. You are world famous. You are. You matter in the world of Dungeons and Dragons and TTRPG YouTube. You do. You matter more than a lot of people. You certainly matter more than a lot of people who comment on you, guys like Diversity and Dragons, who consistently makes overtly racist statements on his YouTube channel with absolutely no problem. Overtly racist statements like referring to the brothers and sisters smoking weed in the park outside of his office building. I don't think he's referring to those people as brothers and sisters because he's referring to them as brothers and sisters in Christ. I believe that's an overt statement as to their ethnicity. So he's an overtly racist person. That's kind of kooky that he says that. But I think time will out and that people will be seen for who they are. Also, you may have missed it, but I ruined RPG Pundit's 20th anniversary of being the RPG Pundit at the end by making him allocute and talk about the Jeffrey Epstein files at the end, where he looked like a total, I dare say, a little bit like a knocker, because he basically wheeled out the Dershowitz defense of there's no real list. It was great. I totally ruined the mood at the end. It was brilliant. I felt guilty at the end because I'm a typical liberal progressive, pinko homo. So I felt actually bad that I ruined RPG Pundit's celebration of being the 20th anniversary of being the RPG Pundit. But then I remembered, what an overtly racist, misogynistic, homophobic, transphobic piece of garbage human being he is. I'm sorry, I apologize. And then I didn't feel bad about it anymore. Well, for a little bit. Now I feel bad about calling him calling him names, but it's true. We all know it's true. But anyway, on to J. Scott Garrett.
The Democrats are cooked. They are
we're cooked. Democrats are cooked. Oh my gosh. I had no idea.
Cooked. And so on this topic, on the topic
of the government shutdown, it would be really great if people paid attention to things like objective facts, like polling numbers and things like special election results, like no Republicans have won any special election since the election of Donald Trump to presidency, but all the Democrats have won the special elections. That's like an objective fact that people could talk about. But hey, who needs facts when we've got J. Scott Garrett?
The Democrats are not stupid people, but man, are they.
I like that.
Stupid on this topic.
Okay.
They just do not understand what is happening.
Okay.
The Democrats have bobbled this U.S. government shutdown.
We bobbled it. First of all, I identify as a Democrat in the sense that I voted like in the first election that I ever voted for, which I think was like for like Bill Clinton back in the day. I registered as a Democrat, so since then I've been a registered Democrat. But I'm like, whatever, it is. What I guess it's like. I always think this is like kind of stupid. This blue versus red, like Republicans Democrats thing, but whatever. Anyway,
so badly.
the Republicans did the government shutdown. They did the government shutdown for one explicit reason, and we all know what it is, to try and cover up desperately the fact that Donald Trump is involved in the Jeffrey Epstein debacle. You can't cover it up for long. Eventually, government's going to have to come back into session. Mike Johnson is going to have to swear in that woman from New Mexico, and all the other Democrats that are coming in. The Epstein files will be released. Everyone's going to see that Donald Trump, we already know, is that he's a hemophile pederast that was closely associated with Jeffrey Epstein. His name is all over the files. And what are you going to say? I mean, dude, on day one, the guy tried to put in Matt Gaetz as the attorney general, and we all at a time when Matt Gaetz was like basically had evidentiary evidence on him that he was involved in human sex trafficking of underage girls. So, I mean, this is the guy that you see was training the swamp. Whatever, dude.
That it literally threatens the United States government forever. Okay.
Okay, that's the government's been shut down like so many times. It's not even funny. Like I could, the government's been shut down like 3 times in my the last like 8 years. But okay,
So, what's happened? I need to explain this to you.
okay, you explain it to us. You explain it to us.
First of all, the Democrats don't understand. The Republicans
Okay,
love the government shutdown.
the Republicans love the government, but we know the Republicans love the government shutdown. I don't know if they love it because it's kind of blowing up in their faces, because their desire, it seems, to message that the Democrats are responsible for the government shutdown. We could tell from the polling is not exactly working, and we could tell it's just people can tell shit from Shinola. So, but hey,
Like it was a joke on Parks and Rec, but it was 100% true. Ron Swanson was like,
okay, when you're going for trying to make your political points by going to a fictionalized character that is a literal stereotype of what a big L libertarian no government person is, I think you're like headed into a wrong direction. But hey,
here's how I want commerce to work. I grow an apple. I have an apple tree.
are you explaining to us the whole Ron Swanson view of government? Is that what we're doing here, Jay?
I pull that apple off of my tree. I walk into my front yard and I set up a stand.
He is. He's going to tell us the whole Ron Swanson, how economics works according to a libertarian.
And I have a bushel of apples, and I'm like, hey, do you want an apple? And the buyer is like, yes, here's a quarter. And I'm like, hey, give me 35 cents. And then they give me 35 cents. And no government checks that, that the apple was washed. The person eats
Well, that's, okay. So we understand how Ron Swanson wants things to work. Thank God we don't live in a world of Ron Swansons.
it right there.
And meanwhile, the guy who plays Ron Swanson is like one of the most liberal, like progressive people you'd ever want to meet in your entire fucking life. Go check out a podcast with that guy.
And nobody pays anybody any taxes, right? That's what Republicans actually want, right?
Well, actually, it's not what Republicans want. It's what they kind of basically tell people they want. But if you want to know something, most Republicans, most corporatist Republicans, are so far away from any sort of sense of real, true, laissez-faire libertarian government. That's why you have libertarians who are not actually Republicans and spend a ton of time bitching about Republicans.
No government is literally what Republicans want, right? And
no, that's what libertarians want, and anarcho, syndicalist, capitalists. Republicans want government. They absolutely do. They perpetrate that they don't want government, but they love government. They just don't love government that, pays for people. They like government that pays for corporations. They just don't like government that pays for people.
The Democrats have served it up to them on a silver platter.
Okay, well, that's just erroneous, but hey, what are you going to do? You're J. Scott Garrity.
And I think what the Democrats don't understand is exactly how dangerous what they've just done is, right?
What did they just do? Well, and we're not going to get into it. It is what it is. If you want to believe the Democrats shut down the government, you're going to believe that. And there's nothing I can do to help you because you believe counterfactual arguments. So, hey.
Because I'll tell you right now, we're coming up on a month of the government being shut down. I have not suffered not a single problem has
As a cis white, middle class American human being in a suburb, you have not suffered. We get that. We understand that. But, that's not the reality of the situation. You may have actually suffered in innumerable ways, but we have an understanding of you, J. Scott Garvey, that you are not necessarily intellectually inclined to be aware of absolutely everything that's going on in your life.
interrupted anything in my life. The government's been shut down for a month.
A lot has been interrupted in your life. You're just not aware of it because you're blissfully ignorant of what's happening around you.
And the vast majority of Americans feel exactly the same.
Well, that's absolutely not true. I don't think you're aware of what the vast majority of Americans believe or feel because I don't think you're in touch with the vast majority of Americans. I don't think you're I have theories about how in touch you are with the reality of the world around you, possibly in touch with the reality of the human beings in your household, but that's speculation.
Way. They're like, yeah, I'm aware some people aren't getting checks, whatever. You're gonna give them that check later, right? They're living at their mom's this month, whatever.
Well, yeah, some of those people that are getting those checks are people that, require government subsidies to take care of themselves and keep themselves fed. There's also some of those people that are on checks because, their social security disability benefits because they're handicapped. But you seem to be, as a Christian, just absolutely blissfully able to just ignore those people and just fantasize about all those people getting government checks being, shiftless Gen, Z layabouts who are just, looking for free checks to play Xbox. Yeah, go hang out with Pat Buchanan, okay? And the ghost of who's that guy on 60 Minutes? Ed Rooney. You know what I mean? Who was like, the lead singer of Nirvana just killed himself. And I just said to myself, you're a millionaire rock star. What do you have to be sad about? And doing drugs. Why? You have so much to live for. Depression? Back in my day, if you were sad, they told you go outside and take a walk. Look at the sunrise, for God's sake.
Who cares? And I'm telling you, people do not care. You think they do, they don't, right?
No, people don't care. That's why they had the largest protests in American history. And did you hear about the 1960s? There was a fair amount of protests that happened there. You hear about the civil rights movement? The largest protests ever happened. Well, again, they happened against the guy that you blissfully referred to as King Trump. But hey, you're J. Scott Garrity, and I think that there's a whole bunch of people that I think that I kind of like that I would wish would understand that they're supporting the same guy that you're supporting, because people need to be aware of the fact that I think there are a lot of people that just need to be aware of the fact that they're supporting the guy because they just like to be different. They just like to be counterculture. They just like to be, if everyone says this guy's a bad guy, then they're going to support that guy because they're just rebellious. You're just jerks.
They're not feeling the pain when they're like, hey, U.S. government was shut down for an entire month. I never saw a single difference.
Watch where he's going to go with this one, folks.
People are good. Americans are good.
Also, by the way, fair use, fair use, fair use. The purpose of this video is commentary. This guy, J. Scott Garrity, is close to 4,000 subscribers. And baby, you better believe that some of his videos get just so many views. The guy's got influence. The guy's got appears on thumbnails. Oh my God, this guy's got reach. It's newsworthy. It's noteworthy within the small insular community of YouTube TTRPGs. It's transformative work. It's commentary. That stuff.
We don't need the U.S. government, right?
We don't need the U.S. government. Who needs the U.S. government? Forget it. I mean, the government shutdown proves that we don't need the U.S. government. Scott, not only is there the federal government, which yes got shut down. You are aware of the fact that there's also the state and local governments that you have been experiencing the support and succor of, right? You are aware of that, aren't you? I don't know that you are. I don't know that you are, young man.
And so for the Democrats who literally want a big government tent, right? Who are like, oh, the government should help people. And then
The big government tent is a description for the desire for a political body that gets people elected. Everyone desires a big tent. The Republicans desire a big tent. The Libertarians want a big tent. The Independents, the Green Party wants a big tent. That means there's a lot of people in your tent voting for your candidate.
like we have this period of a month where the government has shut down, right? Like services, nope, right? And people are like, oh, everything's fine.
Well, first of all, there's a lot of services that keep on going. You know what I mean? I don't know if you're aware of that. You're obviously not aware of that. And then also, Jesus.
We don't need the U.S. government. You are telling the entire, American people, like,
no, people do need the U.S. government. In fact, there are people suffering for the services that are not available, and they want those services to be available.
maybe we just get rid of the Constitution and get rid.
So let's just get rid of the U.S. Constitution. As long as the government shut down, why have freedom of speech? Why have freedom of assembly? Why have freedom of religion? Why have freedom of the press? As long as there's a government shutdown, why have any government at all? This guy is a genius. Don't you think that J. Scott Garrity is a genius? I'm not being sarcastic at all when I say that J. Scott Garrity, adult children probably feel absolutely no embarrassment at all of their father doing this. Now, listen, I'm going to tell you something, folks. I've got feet of clay, right? My kids have to contend with a lot of the things that I say and do and have been seen to do on the internet. However, I think J. Scott Garrity is a bigger embarrassment than me.
Rid of it all. We'll be
possibly
fine. We'll be fine.
That's a theory.
And Republicans love this, right? Like
they're having their time of their lives. You ever see Mike Johnson in interviews recently? Or how about the judicial nominee who just got caught out being a Nazi? Or Carolyn Levitt, who's having the time of her life with her tweets being exposed? Or how about the other AG who having her tweets out there? The Republicans are having a blast. Pink Lindsey Graham, everyone's having a blast.
Why wouldn't they, right? Because you're like, well, isn't that anarchy? No, it's a strongman world. Guess who's going to win?
What? I'm like,
in a strongman world.
I'll tell you what, in a strongman world, my ex-wife.
The Democrats who love to tweet, or your Republican who has a 4x4, F-150 with a shotgun in the back.
Yeah, that's how it works. All the Republicans are big, tough, strong guys with 4x4 trucks, and all the Democrats are little fairies who just tweet all day. This is the biggest fantasy in the world. This is the perennial fantasy that the Second Amendment means that the Republicans are going to win any sort of Civil War action. Folks, listen. The lower down you go on the socioeconomic totem pole, the tougher you are in a brawl. That's why there hasn't been like a heavyweight, champion in boxing since what? Like Marciano, right? And there's not going to be one. Where do you see tough guys in the ring in professional wrestling? Okay. Or in MMA where just a lot of brothers just don't get it. You know what I mean? This is just ridiculous. There was a guy on I think it was on TikTok who like mouthed off. He was like a big guy and he mouthed off and he picked on one particular guy who he identified as like an SJW libtard. It was like, oh, I'll kick any liberals at butt. And what happened immediately? Like 10,000 liberal Muay Thai fighters and boxers and weightlifters were like, okay, no problem. When and where? And he just got just looked like a got hosed, got ratioed, just looked like a biggest douche. And look at this guy. Look at Fupa Deluxe. Everyone who's seen a picture of J. Scott Garrity from head to toe knows what this guy, who is this guy acting like? That all the liberals are cream puffs and all the Republicans are, chiseled, looking tough, looking rough, looking ready to go. When we all saw the Texas National Guard roll, you know what I mean, into Ohio, into Illinois, right?
Who do you think's going to win in that strongman
The Democrats.
world? Like,
Because that's what's going to come down to. It's going to come down to tough guy versus tough guy. No, here's the reality of a civil war. It's the same thing with the Civil War back in the day. Economic powerhouses of California, New York, and the blue. Look at the blue states. Look at those economic powerhouses of states that do shit. And then look at Mississippi, the Dakotas, Missouri, Illinois. I'm not trying to make fun of, because there's a lot of great people in those bullshit do nothing fucking states run by shithead governors for generations and generations. No offense. No offense. There's not going to be a civil war because no one likes the Republicans anymore because you guys ruined fucking America with this bullshit.
I don't think the Democrats have any idea how outrageously foolish they've been.
I think that I'm playing your video because you are like Rufus Thomas, the Crown Prince of Saul. You are a delight to watch. You are a child of God, and you are Halloween candy. Fine and dandy. And I love you. And I hope everyone loves you too. And just knowing that you think this way is just brilliant. To have you say, government shutdown is fantastic. I haven't felt the thing, so why not get rid of the US Constitution?
They've just told the world the U.S. government is irrelevant. Like,
Yeah, that's what the Democrats did. It's not that you guys told the world that the U.S. is a joke because y'all elected a serial molester, pussy grabber, bankrupt, amoral weirdo like Donald Trump. No, no, no. It's us doing nothing and not causing the government shutdown. Well, y'all actually caused the government shutdown. Not you. The Republicans in charge of the government caused a shutdown in order to protect Donald Trump from having the Epstein files released. That's what happened. And now people are actually acting like, well, the Democrats never cared about the Epstein files before. Why do they care about it now? What the fuck is your problem? Y'all are protecting pedophiles, you sick bastards. You have no moral high ground. Everyone's going to see what you did. Everyone's stop saying that you support this guy. Anyone who's acting like they support this guy in 2025 and on October 21st, 2025 is supporting this guy. And we all saw the protests. You don't have the numbers. No one's on your side. Well, people are on your side. You're all on your side. There's no going to be, you keep on thinking that there's some sort of revolution, that there's going to be, that the OSR is really this, and it's all about getting rid of the SJWs. There's no getting rid of the SJWs. You know what I mean? This is what people think. People think it's okay that people are gay. People think that it's okay people marry people outside of their race. People don't care if the baby's being born in the next generation is more this color than that color. And if you think that, then people think that you are racist, or that you're homophobic, or you're transphobic. And people are going to know that that means something fucked up about you. Ooh, yeah, it means there's something fucked up about you because racism, sexism, homophobia is fucked up. It is. And You can have bad thoughts. You can be a bad person, but don't be surprised if being a bad person gets you adjudicated and judged in society as a bad person. So you're saying my religion makes me a bad person? If your religion says homophobia, sexism, transphobia is good, then yeah, sorry, sorry about that. And no one is saying that for religion from wherever else in the world, if it's intolerant to these things, that it's okay. Go find me the place that says that you can be intolerant because you're this religion in America. There's no one that says that. You go out to Dearborn, Michigan, you're not allowed to be homophobic just because you're Islam, Muslim. They enforce, you know, you can't abuse your daughters because of Islam in Dearborn, Michigan. If you do, you're going to be arrested. It's just the way it is. It's America.
Not only is big government stupid, any government is stupid, right? We should just be in a world with no government, right?
That's called anarchy. It's called Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, and I don't want to be there. I don't think J. Scott Garrity wants to be there either, because neither of us are the proverbial tough guy with a shotgun and the Rango. I don't know what the hell the vehicle's got
Which
to
is
do
what
with
we've
it.
been in for a month, right?
No, we have not. We have not been in a world without government for a month. You idiot. No offense. If you think you've been in a world without government for a month, you're a fucking moron. Sorry.
Government shut down. We're all fine.
That's not what a government shutdown means. It doesn't mean the total absence of government. You know what I mean? This is stuff that you can educate yourself with and about. You know what I mean? He's an adult.
Fine. Everything worked, right? Like, so, hey, who needs the U.S. Constitution? Who needs a bunch of senators? Who needs how?
You do. You do. You desperately do.
We're fine. Let's get rid of the U.S. government. Like, I feel like I don't think the Democrats are aware of their messaging. They are.
Because that's not their messaging. Okay, listen, I'm done with you, kid. You know what I mean? You're great. You're brilliant. You're an apple pie. You're a human being alive on planet Earth. Step inside my Hyundai. Hey, Synthetic Rebellion, what's going on, baby? Good to see you. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you for coming out. Had to. I was just gonna keep it pure. I was like, we're just gonna do the Crypt of the Vampire Classic Golden Dragon game book. We're just gonna keep it at that. And I was like, don't do it. Don't dip. Don't dip to this J. Scott Garrity. Don't do it. Don't do it. You said yourself, politics doesn't need to be covered. You said it yourself. And I'm like, oh, well, just and then I was in it. And then I was in it. I couldn't stop myself. Forgiveness, please. Forgiveness, please. And it's at the end anyway, so no one's gonna watch that far anyway. So people will dip out. It was Golden Coin 100. It was when I saw this, when I saw Golden Coin 100 say, "Hope everyone is well," and just finding a way through the tides of change. That I was like, okay, that's it. We're doing it. We're doing the J. Scott Caravan. There you go. And then I threw Mike Johnson right under the bus. Hey, look, I'll play it equal. Hassan Piker totally electrocuted that dog. Fucking asshole. The U.S. president also serves as citizens of Argentina, whose president was Steve, also Israel. Hey, listen. Justice for Okaba. Listen, also say this. J. Scott Garrity, loyalty of a friggin' RPG pundit, right? That guy was as loyal to Orion Okaba as RPG pundit is loyal to Venger Satanis, okay? I.e., not loyal. That guy gave up on Orion the minute Orion Okaba didn't appear at the blessed right hand side of Mike Matt Mercer. J. Scott Garvey stopped mentioning Orion Akava wholesale, right? What happened to the millions of American men who are dying of, deaths of despair? Went the way of the Epstein files and Mike Johnson's login codes for Grinder. Can you get a PhD in D&D because he thinks he has one? I have something to say about his. I'm gonna. I canceled his dissertation. Does Ron Swanson want to give $40 billion to bail out Argentina? Yeah, these guys have a conception of Donald Trump being a libertarian. They have no conception of Donald Trump's actual politics. Here we go. Genocide. My coworker's spouse working for the feds, and there hasn't been paid, so I see the shutdown as it affects people. Absolutely, it does, dude. How about this? That genius from the real world who is like the head of the Department of Transportation, those morons thought that the air traffic controllers were just going to show up and work gratis. Did you know that? That all of a sudden, when the air traffic controllers stopped showing up, they were like, hey, why aren't the air traffic controllers showing up? And they were like, you shut down the government. They're not getting paid. They were like, what? So they're not just going to come and do this stuff because of, safety. And they were like, no, they're not going to keep on. They're not going to keep on coming for free. They're idiotic. Absolute say hello to Synthetic Rebellion. Synthetic Rebellion endorsed. If you're going to support one Titus Frost and Defango restreamer this year, make it Synthetic Rebellion. Ford F-150, but J. Scott Garrity is always driving his wife's Hyundai. There's no reason to think this This is his wife's Hyundai. Genocide joining us on joining the Kick Revolution. There you go. As we get to the end of the live chat, folks, thank you for joining me on this wonderful bifurcated live stream. Hopefully it didn't go too long. Hopefully we're in some sort of reasonable time frame and it will all make sense. Folks, happy Halloween. If I don't come back before the 31st, have yourself a happy Halloween. Sam Hain, All Hallows Eve, all that good, lovely, spooky stuff. Don't forget to follow me on all the followable things, the YouTube, the Twitches, the Kicks, the things, all the things. Like, comment, and subscribe. Tell your friend. We need a spooky chanter stream. One of those words leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I'm at the edge of spooky, literally. There you go. Talk about bad taste in my mouth. I told my wife. There you go. Love you. Hey, listen, it could happen. It could happen. We never know. Listen, I got a lot of irons in the proverbial fire, but there you go. Keep it spooky. Why not? We're taking the word back. We're taking the word back. One bad apple doesn't ruin the whole spooky bunch. Right? Forgiveness, peace, love, unity, and respect. Everything else is hardcore. Okay? And with that, remember, I love you. I love you. I love you. If nobody told you they loved you today, somebody just did. That somebody is CW Pumpkins. Okay? Till the next episode.